This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I will analyze the Louisiana Derby at the Fairgrounds on Saturday, March 22nd. And this is a Kentucky Derby 2025 points race. And through 28 races on my Road to the Derby video series, my top choices have 6 wins, 5 runner-up finishes, and 3 show finishes. 2 of my top choices have scratched, so I am officially 6 for 26 on the Road to the Derby. And I posted my latest Kentucky Derby 2025 report at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Derby page earlier today. And that report includes the latest Derby news, points race recaps, updated point standings, and my exceptional 11 Derby contenders. You can check out that article now at therunawayhorse.com on my Derby page, and I will include a link to that report in the video description below. And I posted a pair of Kentucky Oaks prep race videos earlier this week, the Fairgrounds Oaks and the Bourbonnette Oaks. You can watch those videos on my channel now. And my next video on my YouTube channel is the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes at Turfway, our Kentucky Derby points race. I'll have that on tomorrow. And in addition to my Santa Anita full cards that I offer each day, I am offering a full card for the 12-race Louisiana Derby Day program at the Fairgrounds on March 22nd. Now you can purchase my full cards individually. I also offer weekly and weekend packages at Santa Anita, or you can buy the Fairgrounds and Santa Anita cards together on March 22nd as part of my weekly Saturday special for $16. Go to therunawayhorse.com on my shop page to pre-purchase those cards now, and I will email them out when analysis is complete later this week. And I typically send out my cards 1 to 2 days before race day. And the early weather forecast for March 22nd at the Fairgrounds calls for partly cloudy skies with a high temperature of 75. And the Louisiana Derby is run at 1 mile and 3/16. It's been run at that distance since the year 2020, and the last 5 winners at that 1 mile and 3/16 distance: Wells Bayou in 2020, then Hot Rod Charlie, Epicenter, Kings Barnes, and Catching Freedom last year. Now, Wells Bayou in 2020, he was second in the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes prior to wiring the field as the favorite in the Louisiana Derby. Hot Rod Charlie in 2021, he followed up a show finish in the Robert Lewis Stakes at Santa Anita with a front-running win as the second betting choice in the Louisiana Derby. Epicenter in 2022, he won the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes at the Fairgrounds on the front end, and then he stalked from 3rd place and he scored as the even money favorite in the Louisiana Derby. Kings Barnes in 2023 for trainer Todd Pletcher, he won his first 2 career starts in Florida, including an easy optional claiming route win as the 1 to 2 favorite at Tampa Bay Downs, and then he shipped to the Fairgrounds and he wired the field at 9 to 2 odds in the Louisiana Derby, finally catching freedom last year. He was 3rd in the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes before going last to first at 3 to 1 odds in the Louisiana Derby. Now, all 5 winners since 2020 finished in the top 3 in their start prior to the Louisiana Derby, and 3 of the last 5 Louisiana Derby winners went wire to wire. One of them stalked the pace, and then we had one closing winner, and that was Catching Freedom last year. Now, 2 of the last 3 Louisiana Derby winners exited the Risen Star Stakes, and for the Risen Star this year, we saw some also-rans in that race. American Promise and Render Judgment returned to finish 1st and 2nd in the Virginia Derby at Colonial Downs last weekend. And for trainer Brad Cox, he won this race in 2020 and 2024. Flavien Prat rode the Louisiana Derby winner in 2023 and 2024, and Cox and Prat team up this year with morning line favorite John Hancock breaking from the inside post. Now we're going to meet the field for the 2025 Louisiana Derby, and I will give out my contenders from last to first. This race will be run Saturday, March 22nd. It'll be the 12th race, Grade 2 $1 million Louisiana Derby for 3-year-olds, 1 mile and 3/16 on the main track. Scheduled post time 6:42 p.m. Eastern Time. John Hancock is number 1. He's your 7 to 2 morning line favorite. As I mentioned, Brad Cox his trainer, Flavien Prat is his rider, and he's going to be attending the pace from the inside post. Number 2, Chunk of Gold, 8 to 1 for trainer Ethan West. Jarrod Loveberry is going to ride. He was 2nd in the Risen Star Stakes behind runaway winner Magnitude last time. Number 3, Tiztastic at 8 to 1 morning line for trainer Steve Asmussen. And Joel Rosario is going to ride. He was 5th in the Rebel Stakes last time out. Yinzer, number 4, another Asmussen trainee. Ben Curtis is going to ride this one, and he went wire to wire last time out at Fairgrounds at 1 mile and 1/16 in a maiden special weight race on February 15th. Caldera for trainer D. Wayne Lucas. Tyler Gaffalione is going to ride. He's 5-1 morning line. He's number 5. He likes to stalk the pace, or at least he stalked the pace last time in the Sunland Derby, and he missed by a nose. Number 6, Built. He's 4-1 with Jose Ortiz riding. Wayne Catalano is the trainer. He's adding blinkers for the first time. He finished in the top 3 in all 5 of his career starts, including a show finish in the Risen Star Stakes. Number 7, Vassimo, for trainer Todd Pletcher. I read Ortiz Jr. is his pilot. He's adding blinkers here. He was 4th in a 12-horse field in that Risen Star last time out. Number 8, Furio, for trainer Joe Sharp. Luis Saez is aboard. He set the pace in all 3 career starts, and he was 2nd in an optional claiming route when he stretched out in distance on February 17th. Number 9, Instant Replay, another Brad Cox trainee. Laurent Giroux is going to stay put here, and he won that optional claiming race that I mentioned where Furio was out there setting the pace. Instant Replay rallied for the win that day. And then finally, number 10, Hypnus. 3rd career start. He was 7th in the Rebel Stakes last time out. Prior to that, he broke his maiden at the fairgrounds in the slop in a dirt route in his career debut. And now we're going to go last to first in this Louisiana Derby. The horse that I picked to finish 10th and last is number 8, Furio. And as I said, he did set the pace in all 3 starts. Now he went to the front and he weakened to finish 3rd in an 11-horse field, and he was the beaten favorite in his 6 furlong debut. And then second time out, he was able to keep on going at 6 furlongs and break his maiden. And then he stretched out, was out in front, couldn't hold on, and he was clearly second best behind Instant Replay, who's also in this race last time out. So Furio will attend the pace, but some others in here have speed as well, and I'm not sure how far this one wants to go. Another horse that has speed, and I'm not sure how far he wants to go, is number 4, Yinzer, and I'm picking him to finish 9th. And he did add blinkers and Lasix, and he dueled and he weakened in the slop on January 18th. But then last time he got clear early. He just kept on going, and he won at 11-1 odds in a maiden special weight route at the fairgrounds on February 15th. He does lose Lasix in here. He will impact the pace. And Ben Curtis is his new rider. And Ben Curtis, he did guide home Magnitude for Steve Asmussen in the Grade 2 Risen Star, and he rode that horse aggressively. So maybe Curtis is going to try to do the same thing here. Just ride this horse aggressively, see how far he wants to go, and see if he can take them wire to wire. The horse that I picked to finish 8th is number 9, Instant Replay. And for this one, he did break his maiden in a maiden claiming $100,000 flat mile race. That was around 1 turn in November. And then he dueled on the pace. The pace wasn't quick, and he weakened to finish 4th of 9 in a 1 mile race won by Sandman. That was around 2 turns at Oaklawn in December. And then he added Lasix, and he went last to first when he won last time by 5 lengths at the fairgrounds at 1 mile and a 16th on February 17th. He does go off Lasix here. He steps up in class, and he should be rallying from off the pace, and we'll see how good he is in here. He's going to probably have to run better. He ran down Furio last time, but I think that one has distance limitations. The horse I picked to finish 7th is number 3, Tiztastic, and this horse is 0 for 4 in Kentucky Derby prep races, but he did earn Derby points in all 4 of those starts. He was 2nd once, 3rd twice, and then he was 5th in a 13-horse field in the Grade 2 Rebel last time out. So he's one that's going to try to get involved from off the pace. Joe Rosario is going to be riding him for the first time. The horse that I picked to finish 6th is number 1. He's your favorite, John Hancock. I have nothing bad to say about this one. I just like some other horses that are going to offer some more value in here. And for this one, we'll see how long he can hang in here in a race that does have some other speed. So for John Hancock, he did choose this race, or his connections chose this race, over the Grade 3 Virginia Derby on March 15th. So he was entered in that race. He scratched. They decided to reroute him to this event. And he did wire the field as the favorite in his Tampa Bay debut at 6 furlongs on January 8th. And then he went off Lasix, and he was the favorite in the Sam F. Davis Stakes at 1 mile and a 16th on February 8th at Tampa Bay Downs. He got clear early, but then Owen Almighty came after him, and it was basically a match race between those two. And he was able to outfinish Owen Almighty in the stretch and win by a half length. And then Owen Almighty was clearly second best, and he would come back and he would wire the field in the Grade 3 Tampa Bay Derby. That was a slow pace where Owen Almighty was able to get out there and control the pace. So this one, definitely the inside speed in here. He does still have upside. He's 2 for 2, so he's only run twice. And this is his first start away from Tampa Bay Downs. He's not going to offer a lot of value. Brad Cox has had some well-backed Derby points race starters recently, but they've been underperforming. such as Tappan Street. I picked him on top in his race in the Holy Bull, and he ended up finishing second after having a clear lead. Patch Adams disappointed in back-to-back points races. He took a lot of money for Brad Cox. And then Rapture, I made him my top choice last weekend in that Virginia Derby, and he disappointed there. So the Brad Cox trainees have been surprisingly underperforming in some of these Derby prep races. The horse that I picked to finish fifth is number 6, Built, and this one's very consistent. He stretched out, and he was able to steal the Gunrunner Stakes, a Kentucky Derby points race at the fairgrounds on the front end in December. And then he stalked the pace, and he missed by a neck in a slow renewal of the Grade 3 Lecomte Stakes at the fairgrounds in the slop in January. And then he stalked Magnitude last time out when that one just got out to a nice lead and just kept on going and earned a 108 Beyer speed figure, romping in that Risen Star. And Built lost second place late there. But he was a clear show finisher. That was a good effort in that Risen Star. Now, he does put blinkers on, but Wayne Catalano 0 for 13 with the blinkers on move with 2 underneath finishes. So it's not a strong move for this trainer. Jose Ortiz, the leading rider at the fairgrounds, does ride this one. He's a son of hard spun. He's versatile. He's consistent, logical contender for the trifectas and superfectas. The horse that I picked to finish fourth is number 2, Chunk of Gold, and he seems to be on the upswing for trainer Ethan West. Now, he did stalk the pace and break his maiden by a neck in an all-weather sprint in his debut at Turfway Park. And then he stretched out. He rallied to finish second in the Leonidas Stakes, second time out at that same venue. And then he moved over to the main track, and he was able to rally to finish second behind Magnitude in that Risen Star Stakes. I've been mentioning that one. That was a good effort, rallying from off the pace there and finishing second. Now, as I said, Magnitude ran a fast race. That was a strong number there. But unfortunately for Magnitude, he was injured. He's off the Derby trail. And we'll find out how good Chunk of Gold is in here. There's no Magnitude in here, but he should get pace to chase as well. And he could be the best late threat in here. We'll have to see if he can maybe outfinish the other closers. The horse that I picked to finish third is the 10, Hypnus. And for this one, he did look good winning from off the pace in the slop on the Lecomte undercard in his career debut at 1 mile and a 16th on January 18th. He was 16-1 at fairgrounds that day, and he ran faster than the horses did in the Lecomte Stakes. And then he was 10-1 in the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes on February 23rd. He was stuck in traffic, and he did pass some runners. He finished 7th in a 13-horse field. It was a bit of an inconclusive effort. We don't know how good he is yet, but he's only run twice. He's 10-1. He should get pace help. I've always liked this one. He has upside. And we'll see how fast this pace is. He should be finishing from the outside post. Now we're down to my last top 2 here. And I was torn between these two on which one to pick on top. I eventually just went for the value play. I think the horse that's going to offer the higher price as my top choice. But my second choice is the 5, Caldera, 5-1 morning line. And he is on the upswing. He's a My Racehorse runner, and they own him. And D. Wayne Lucas is the trainer. And these are the same connections that brought us 2024 Preakness winner Seize the Gray. And he did split a 12-horse field after breaking last in his sprint debut, but that race was just too short for him. And then he stretched out, he stalked the pace, and he finished second as the beaten favorite in December. And then he added blinkers and Lasix, and he went wire to wire, breaking his maiden by 5.5 lengths as the favorite at 1 mile and a 16th on January 17th. And then I did like him last time out in the Sunland Derby, but I made Getaway Car my top choice and Caldera my second choice. And he went off Lasix in that race, and he shipped to New Mexico. He stalked outside. Getaway Car was out there on the lead. Stalking outside was Caldera, and he ended up battling with Getaway Car in the stretch and just missing the bob there, missing by a nose. It was a good effort in the Sunland Derby, and it was 9 lengths back to the show finisher. Now, Getaway Car did come back and disappoint in the Virginia Derby, but it just looked like he was a horse that was probably going to bounce off of that big effort in the Sunland Derby. Now, Caldera's had that extra week, and he seems to be going the right way, and I'm not expecting him to bounce like Getaway Car did. And he does have back-to-back 5-furlong bullet workouts at Oaklawn for this, and I think that this one could end up running a good race. Wayne Lucas is fresh off an upset victory in the Virginia Derby last week. He settled American Promise to that upset victory. And Tyler Gaffalione is the new rider for this one, and I think he's going to work out a decent stalking trip in here. Definite wing contender. My top choice and my value top choice is the 7 Vassimo at 12-1 morning line. and it was off that Risen Star while I'm picking him on top. That was just an odd race for him. And for him, he stalked the pace and he won his first 2 career starts. They were both in Florida for Irad Ortiz Jr. and Todd Pletcher. And then he shipped to the fairgrounds, and that was an odd effort in that Risen Star. Now, he was stalking the pace inside, and then he suddenly dropped back on the backstretch, and it looked like, oh, he's just going to be nowhere, possibly running last in that race. And then they swung him wide in the stretch, and he had new energy there. He re-rallied, and he ended up finishing 4th in that 12-horse field, beaten 13 lengths. And he was 2 3/4 lengths behind the show finisher there, Built, who's also in this race. And I liked that effort on the gallop out. Now, I had to dig around for the gallop out because some of the replays I was watching weren't showing the gallop out, but I was able to find it. And for that one, he did show nice interest on the gallop out, and he was right next to Built in that gallop out. So he does add blinkers, and I think that really makes sense for this one because it did look like he lost focus last time out. He was up on the pace, and then he dropped back, and then he came again. So I like him adding blinkers more than I like Built adding blinkers. Built's just been a solid horse. He's been running his race. He's versatile. But Vassimo, he seems to be looking around. They said even in his first 2 starts, he just wasn't focusing enough. And now I definitely view this equipment change as a positive, if not a necessity for Vassimo, because he definitely needs to have that focus. And I like his stalking speed as well. So I think he can set a good trip out there in the clear behind the speed, and he can't make any mistakes like he did last time because he won't win this race. But Vassimo, number 7, is going to be my top choice in the Louisiana Derby. Caldera, my strong second choice. And then my live long shot running late, number 10, Hypnus, will round out my top 3. And if you want a free pick each day, go to therunawayhorse.com and click on the Better Bets blog tab at the top of my homepage. You can get a free pick from around the country each day. And don't forget to like and comment and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And I post horse racing videos on my channel each week. Very busy right now on the road to the Derby and Oaks. A lot of content on my channel. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.